For watching you on the Weather Channel, we have a whole bunch of flood warnings to pass along to you across parts of New York and New England. But first of all, I want to show you some of the pictures shot yesterday in the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area. This is the Susquehanna River. Once again, a pretty major flood occurred, and you can see the water's very high and up over the banks in a lot of cases. The flood crest generally around 12 to 14 to 15 feet above flood stage. Look how high that water is up to that bridge there crossing the Susquehanna in town. And thankfully not as bad as Hurricane Agnes was back in '72, but nonetheless, these folks had quite a scare. All told, about 100,000 people were evacuated in parts of Pennsylvania over the last couple of days. Well, the problem had been the tremendous snowpack, obviously, and then our realignment of our storm track, which had been primarily from the eastern seaboard or the Gulf Coast right up the eastern seaboard. Now the trough axis is farther west, and these storms are passing west of New York, west of Pennsylvania, pretty much right about over the Chicagoland area. So even you are seeing a real mishmash of weather, rain and snow and sleet. And this go around, I think we'll do it again. Now, the good thing here, a couple of good things actually, it's a weaker storm, so not as much in the way of rainfall. And the other thing is we don't have a whole lot more snow to melt across the area. We have depleted the snowpack. It is incredible. We've gone from 30 to 35 inches around Boston and Weymouth and Hartford and Providence down to nothing. A lot of piles here, but officially now the airports in Hartford and Boston and Providence and New York and Allentown not reporting any snow anymore. Just amazing to me that they can do that in 4 days' time, just lose it all, but that's indeed what happened. Now, there is some rain in the forecast, some snow will fall to the north. We'll have to watch Denver and Omaha and also Des Moines and again the Twin Cities and Rochester for some snowfall. Hard to say just how much it'll be, but we have rain and warmer air slated for the southeast, and that's a far cry from 11 years ago today. Let's talk about that. January 21st of '85. Look at these numbers, whopping 24 below in Knoxville, 17 below in Nashville, 8 below in Atlanta, 1 degree shy of the all-time record for the date. Birmingham is 6 below on the Gulf Coast, Mobile and Pensacola at 3 and 5, and Tampa on the western side of Florida, 21 degrees. We've had a couple of outbreaks this winter, but nothing coming anywhere near that. It is our western scenario today that we're going to really delve into. We have winter storm watches in effect for Utah and the San Diego mountains of California, as well as the San Jacinto Mountains. We have winter storm warnings in effect now for the areas around the San Bernardinos and the Sierra, and snow is falling very heavily here. Even some chances of thunderstorms rotating in to the Bay Area later on today. Snow is in the forecast all the way to Colorado, primarily the Tetons and the Wasatch of Utah. Now, some areas have already had a couple of feet. We've had about 2 feet in part of the Yellowstone Park and upwards of 2.5 feet in some of the more chosen ski areas out there in the Sierra. Even around Washington State, on the Sound, we've had 4 to 6 inches around Bellingham. Rain forecast not as prominent, but once again, I think the LA Basin and San Diego could see quarter to maybe half-inch amounts. Let's show you the satellite picture, see what's going on out here now. You can see everything is well over these states. No moving across the eastern states. Nothing too heavy. May see an inch or so in some of these areas. And once again, this is going to be primarily snow this go around in New York and New England. That's good news, as we've had flooding reports now up on the Hudson River around the area just south of Poughkeepsie around Cold Spring, and also on over to New Hampshire. We've had flooding reported up on the Connecticut River up around the Bellows Falls, Vermont area, and around Walpole, New Hampshire. So this is going to be generally a light snow. Hopefully the rivers will be cresting pretty soon and then falling thereafter, but we'll have to contend with the possibilities of more rainfall here late in the week. And by the way, earlier some light sleet and snow fell in the Atlanta area. Now some snow in the upstate of South Carolina on I-85, up around Gaffney and moving into the Kings Mountain and Charlotte area. So drive carefully here, but it should be very, very light.
see that snow will be spreading east as well as farther south over the next 24 hours. Rainfall expected to increase, as we mentioned, over southern coast of California.